Hello, my friend. I am so glad you are here. Welcome back to Behind the Pitch. Imagine a man kneeling beside his bed. It is night. The city outside is dark. Somewhere, not far away, soldiers are marching. In his hands, he holds a small shoebox. Inside that box, wrapped in old cloth, a golden trophy. It weighs less than 4 kilograms. It is small enough to hold in 2 hands. But if the wrong person finds it, it could be melted down and gone forever. The man slides the box under his bed. He does not tell his wife where it is. He does not tell his friends. He checks it every single night. And today we follow the story of that trophy. Not just a piece of gold, a trophy that survived a world war hidden under a bed. A trophy that vanished without a trace and was found by a dog. A trophy that, in the end, disappeared forever and was never seen again. If this story gives you something, a little wonder, a little chill down your spine, I would love for you to stay with us. Leave a like and find the subscribe button. Thank you, my friend. Now let us go back. Back before the war, back before the theft, all the way to the beginning, to one man and one impossible dream. His name was Jules Rimet. He was a French lawyer, quiet, religious, not an athlete at all. He had lived through the First World War. He had watched nations tear each other apart. And when the war ended, he came to believe something that most people around him thought was foolish. He believed that football, a simple game played by working men in muddy fields, could bring the world back together. In 1921, Rimet became president of FIFA. At the time, FIFA was small, a handful of countries, very little money, big ideas, and almost nothing to build them with. But Rimet had one idea he would not let go of: a World Cup, not part of the Olympics, not controlled by anyone else. A tournament that belonged only to football, open to the whole world. Can you imagine how strange that sounded in the 1920s? International travel took weeks. Phone calls across countries were unreliable. Nations barely trusted each other on anything, let alone a football pitch. Most people told him no. He wrote letters anyway. He made the calls anyway. He visited football federations across Europe one by one, asking them to believe in something that did not exist yet. And in 1930, his dream became real. Uruguay agreed to host the very first World Cup. 13 nations agreed to come. Some of them traveled 2 weeks by ship just to get there. Jules Rimet boarded one of those ships himself. In his bag, he carried something small, a golden trophy that did not have a name yet. He had commissioned it. He needed it ready in time. And it was. But where did this trophy come from? Who built it? And why would it go on to cause so much trouble? The man who designed it was a French sculptor named Abel Lafleur. Rimet wanted something that felt alive, not just a cup, a figure in motion. Lafleur gave him Nike, the Greek goddess of victory, her arms raised holding an octagonal bowl above her head. Gold-plated silver, a base of blue lapis lazuli, just under 14 inches tall, less than 4 kilograms. They called it simply Victory. In July of 1930, in a stadium built specially for the occasion, Uruguay defeated Argentina 4-2. Jules Rimet walked onto the pitch himself and placed the trophy into the hands of the Uruguay captain. His crazy idea had worked. Italy would win the trophy next in 1934, and again in 1938, both times under the fascist government of Benito Mussolini, who treated every victory as proof of his nation's strength. The trophy traveled from hand to hand, nation to nation. And then, in 1939, the world stopped playing games. The Second World War had begun. Stadiums became military bases. Players became soldiers. Jules Rimet's dream was put on hold. And the trophy itself, the small golden figure that had traveled the world, was now trapped in occupied Italy, sitting quietly inside a bank in Rome. Can you imagine what that trophy was worth to the wrong hands? Nazi forces were looting gold and art and treasure across every country they occupied. If they found this trophy, it would almost certainly be melted down. Gone. Forever. One man understood the danger. His name was Ottorino Barassi. He was a FIFA vice president. He went to the office. He took the trophy in his hands. He wrapped it in old cloth. He placed it inside a plain shoebox. And he hid it under his bed. For 3 years, while bombs fell across Europe, while armies marched through the streets of Rome, a golden trophy sat quietly under one man's bed. He checked it every single night. He told almost nobody where it was. Think about that, my friend. While the whole world was breaking apart, the fate of football's greatest prize came down to one quiet man and an ordinary shoebox. He was right to be afraid, and he was right to hide it, because when the war finally ended in 1945, the trophy was still there, untouched, unharmed, waiting. In 1946, FIFA gave the trophy a new name, in honor of the man who dreamed it all up. It became the Jules Rimet Trophy. But its story of danger, my friend, was not over yet. By 1966, England was preparing to host the World Cup. Organizers decided to put the Jules Rimet Trophy on public display, behind glass, at a stamp exhibition in Westminster. Thousands of people came just to look at it. Then, one quiet Sunday morning, a guard walked over to check on it. The case was empty. The trophy was gone. No alarms, no witnesses. Just an empty box where football's most treasured object had been the night before. This was not just a theft. It was a national disaster. England was only months away from hosting the tournament, and now the trophy itself had vanished. Scotland Yard searched, police searched, ordinary citizens searched, ransom notes started arriving. 4 days passed with no answer, and then a man named David Corbett was walking his dog through a quiet street in South London. The dog's name was Pickles. Pickles began sniffing at something wrapped in newspaper, tucked beneath a hedge in a stranger's front garden. Corbett peeled back the paper. There it was, the missing World Cup trophy. A dog had found what all of Scotland Yard could not. Pickles became a national hero overnight. He appeared on television. He received fan mail. Some say he even got a hero's dinner. Can you imagine? A trophy stolen in broad daylight and found again by a dog sniffing a hedge. England went on to host the tournament and to win it, lifting the very trophy that had almost been lost forever. In 1970, Brazil won the World Cup for the third time. Under FIFA's rules at the time, any nation that won 3 times could keep the trophy forever. So the Jules Rimet trophy, the very statue that had survived a world war under a bed, the very statue that had once vanished and been found by a dog, was sent to Brazil to stay. For 13 years, it sat on proud display at the Brazilian Football Confederation. Then, in December of 1983, it happened one final time. Thieves broke in. They took the trophy. This time, there was no dog. There was no miracle. There was no hedge in South London. Investigators believe the trophy was melted down for its gold and sold piece by piece into nothing. To this day, my friend, the original Jules Rimet trophy has never been found. Think about that. It survived a world war. It survived a theft in London. And in the end, it was destroyed not by soldiers, not by nations, but by simple greed. But here is the part of the story that still amazes me. FIFA had already prepared for this, because they knew sooner or later some nation would win 3 times and take the original home for good. So a new trophy had already been designed. An Italian sculptor named Silvio Gazzaniga was given the task. He didn't want a still figure standing alone. He wanted motion. He wanted 2 human figures, arms stretched upward, holding the entire world at the very moment of victory. 18-karat gold, a base of green malachite, just under 15 inches tall, a little over 6 kilograms. It debuted at the 1974 World Cup in West Germany. And this time, FIFA made a new rule. No nation would ever keep this one. Winners would receive a gold-plated replica to bring home. But the real trophy, solid gold, one of a kind, would always return to FIFA, engraved with a new name every 4 years. This is the trophy that Pelé lifted, that Maradona lifted, that Zidane lifted, that Messi lifted decades later, tears streaming down his face. The same trophy, passed from champion to champion, generation to generation. So what do we make of all this, my friend? A trophy hidden in a shoebox during the darkest war humanity has ever known. A trophy stolen in broad daylight and found by a dog sniffing a hedge. A trophy that survived everything, only to disappear forever at the hands of ordinary thieves. When you sit with this story for a moment, you start to understand something. It was never really about the gold. It was about what Jules Rimet believed from the very beginning. That in a broken, exhausted world, something as small as a ball and a trophy could hold nations together. That belief was strong enough that one man risked everything to protect a small gold statue from an occupying army. Strong enough that an entire nation felt shame the day it went missing. Strong enough that even after the original was gone forever, melted down into nothing, the world simply built another one. Because the idea behind it mattered too much to let go. The next time you watch a captain lift that golden trophy into the night sky, remember what came before it. A war, a shoebox under a bed, a theft that was never fully solved, a final disappearance that erased history itself, and a dream, my friend, that refused to die. Thank you for walking this journey with me today, my friend. I am so glad you are here. Now leave a comment and tell me which part of this story surprised you the most. Was it the shoebox under the bed? Was it Pickles the dog? Or was it the final theft, the one that erased the original trophy from the world forever? I want to know. If this story gave you a little wonder today, hit that subscribe button and stay close. Because at Behind the Pitch, there is always another hidden story waiting behind the game you love. Until next time, take care of yourself. I will see you soon with another story.